Hello and welcome to another video, and today we are going to talk about the Phase 4 from the Disney Plus TV show WandaVision from 2021. And I decided enough to do episode and episode. So fortunately enough, like this is not gonna be like the very first episode. Like just this is gonna be like season 1, episode 1 and stuff. Like I'm just not like gonna do that. Like I am gonna talk about that, but also gonna do episode 2 as well. So I'm doing 2 episodes in one video. So just trying to like keep it up of what would be interesting and stuff. And also depends enough of what I want to talk about and how much I wrote and stuff. So in my opinion, enough of what I wrote on my notes and what I want to talk about. I just have a feeling like this is a good chance enough just get two episodes in one video and stuff, and that's good enough for me to do, because I have a busy schedule in a way of just trying to just do other things and stuff. So I'm just doing little by little and stuff, and then things will just keep going through. So I'm not gonna do, obviously enough, this is starting phase 4 of the MCU. It is interesting enough of this is a TV show and not a movie and stuff, so things are gonna be different. So we're just starting at that point and stuff. WandaVision shouldn't be the very first project for Phase 4. It actually should be Black Widow, but fortunately enough of 2020 postponed Black Widow a little bit further in the year of 2021, because I don't think nothing really happened in 2020, I believe, and stuff. So that's why you can hear about these ideas and these times enough of came at the time of 2021 year and stuff. So that's where like phase 4 kind of started and stuff. So that's that makes sense, because we had COVID 19 at the time in 2019 and basically 2020. I'm not gonna talk about like the cast of who's in it and stuff. Like we know who these people are and stuff. It's the same characters playing in these two superheroes in this show and stuff. Like I would definitely say to them, like, it's Elizabeth Olsen and Paul Bettany and stuff. Like that's pretty much it. There are others in the show, but fortunately enough, like these are like the two main people in the show and stuff, and they're like the most people in the show as well. So it's their show. It's called WandaVision. They're both of them. We started the on the first episode where it's showing a black and white episode where enough of Wanda and Vision basically got married, and they're starting like a new like living and stuff, have a house and stuff. And this is kind of like showing enough of like these type of like 60s and 70s, maybe 50s, who knows, like 50s, 60s, 70s type of shows people actually watch back then and stuff. It's like Vic and Dyke type of situation shows they're showing and stuff. So it's kind of giving that comedy TV shows enough. There's a little silly into them and stuff. I really like it. It has a really strong starts to it and stuff. So I really like the show really a lot. Then we got Agatha showed up at the door, and fortunately enough, we're trying to figure out of who is this and stuff, and she is actually a big part of the show and stuff. She's basically the villain, we know, because it's Agatha all along and stuff. So she has a big role, and that will be coming at the very end of the show. So we just gotta just move forward with the show, and then we'll reveal of who she is. This was actually really funny, where Nova Vision actually went to work and stuff at his job, and the funny thing about it is how much he has been done in about like a second or a minute and stuff. So he got all his paperwork like done like easily, like nobody else is not even done, everybody's still working and stuff, and he's done, like finished and stuff, because he's a machine. So it just makes sense, enough of a machine, it's much faster than a human and stuff. And Paul Brandley does a really good job playing Vision, and just has that humor into the show. Then they have a dinner event where enough of they're having dinner with one of the, I guess, like the head person for Vision's job is called the Hearts. So Mr. and Mrs. Hearts came over just for dinner and stuff. The wife to Mr. Hart is, honestly enough, you probably recognize her from that 70s show in the 90s and stuff. And she's also having a big role as well. Not in this show, but fortunately enough, in another project in the MCU. She will come back and she would have a big role as well. So it's very interesting. She's into this show right now, and we'll see her more. And then at the very end of the first episode, we're seeing somebody is actually watching Wanda and Vision on a, like, literally a TV show. So we're watching a show in a show and stuff. It's kind of funny because it's like they're like acting in a show, but they don't know that and stuff. And in reality of the show, somebody is watching them and writing notes. So there's something really not going well in a way, and we'll do figure that out later in the other episodes. And then we're going to go right to episode 2. I really like the cartoon intro and stuff, and it has like a very unique song to it and stuff. So it's just showing some fun like characters and unique to the show to make it more fun to watch. Wanda found a helicopter in one of her bush, and the crazy thing is it's still black and white, but the helicopter crash in the bush is actually color, so you can see it's not same as like the rest and stuff. So this actually really shows a lot of things. There's gonna be more things why this helicopter is here and stuff, and even more episodes will tell you why that is there. And it really sets another tone to the show, where enough of we see black and white and then one thing is color and stuff, because basically enough, this is not really a TV show, this is reality, what these people are being in their own world. Then Monica Rambeau is also in the show as well, and she's also having a big role of this show as well. Last time we saw this person was actually in Captain Marvel. She was actually the best friend to Captain Marvel, and she was actually a very young girl in that movie. So this time she's like more grown up, because that time enough it was in the 90s and we're like now in like the 2020s times and stuff. And there will be more explaining more in other episodes of what actually happened to her and also her mother as well, because and stuff. And also she's becoming a new superhero as well to phase 4. Wanda and Vision has a magic show and stuff, and where enough of where Vision was doing a lot of things was not really like real and stuff, because like again, I don't think people would know superheroes with their powers and stuff. Fortunately for like Vision, he flies, he does levitations and stuff, and so it's just interesting, especially enough for Wanda. She's kind of like a witch in a way. So they were doing like some interesting things, just didn't look good and stuff. And then fortunately later enough, Wanda made it as a like a particular magic show where enough of we can't feel the magic because in a way, I don't want to say this. Well, magic is real. And then the other funny thing in this scene was where Vision actually accidentally ate gum in him, and the whole time when he was doing the magic show, it just sounded like he was drunk and stuff. It was just pretty funny because, he can't eat, he's a machine. So that was like a really funny thing, I thought. At the very end of the show, it basically turned into color form, so it's not going to be black and white anymore. And then after that, Wanda like moved somewhere where enough of when it turned color and stuff, it showed her stomach was a little big, so that means that Wanda is pregnant and stuff. And then we're gonna figure out enough of she's actually pregnant with 2 kids, with twins and stuff. So that's a big thing and stuff. I know I already gave it a little spoiler and stuff, but we know this very well and stuff. So that's also gonna be a big part of this show as well. We go more forward to other episodes and stuff, and it just really went really quick. Like, oh, they got married and stuff, they got the rings and stuff, and then now she's pregnant, like out of nowhere and stuff. So things are gonna change and stuff. And then after that, they heard a big noise outside and stuff, and it just shows a person come from to the hole on the road and stuff with a bee dresser and stuff. And then fortunately enough, Wanda said no, where enough of she doesn't want to show this and stuff. So fortunately it got cut off, so we didn't see that from the show. People were actually watching the show and stuff. It kind of split back to the show and then went on to like happy after and all stuff. So it had like a happy ending if people were actually watching the show, because they didn't show the dude in the beehive costume. So that's also a big thing. We'll kind of figure out what that person was doing there and stuff from other episodes. Yeah, I'm gonna be excited just to do this show and stuff. This is different than what I do before and stuff. It's gonna be interesting. Again, just going to by each episode and stuff. So not gonna just do like one with the whole show and just talk about it and stuff, because there's little bit interesting things happen in the show as well I want to talk about and stuff, because I just don't want to do like a big giant video and talk about the whole thing and stuff, because there's really important just to talk about each episode and stuff. And I'm thinking about around like 2 or 3 I might do. That's like the most I could do in one video and stuff. So just expect that in the other videos as well. Just not gonna just do one video. Depends of how long and what I do my notes for and stuff. Just depends of that. If I do it, I do it and stuff. So that's pretty much of that. Hopefully I will do more, so just get hyped for those and stuff. Hopefully you like this video. Hit that like button, subscribe for more content, and have a nice day, and thank you for watching.